DrBoyceTV.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today, I want to talk about college athletes and how much money they're making. I'm going to tell you, I really love it. Now, college athletes have these things they call name, image, and likeness deals, which are allowing these players to make millions of dollars. I mean, these deals are kind of crazy, and they're really changing the landscape of college football. They're changing the way the game is played. They're changing how recruiting is done. And I'm going to tell you what, as a finance professor, I just love it because I've been fighting for this for over almost 30 years now. So anyway, get comfortable, buckle up, seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Good morning. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under the B1 condition. B1 means we are Black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means we're proud to be Black. Give me a yes in the chat. Give me a hell yeah in the chat if you are proud to be Black. I want to say good morning to everybody. Good morning, El Haj. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes if you can hear me. This is going to be a short conversation because I actually have to go because I am going to you guys know I'm getting my pilot's license, and I'm going to do what they call a cross-country flight today. So we're going to fly about 70 miles away from the airport, and believe it or not, I had to spend hours planning this flight. You've got to go through the maps and circle things and make sure you don't get lost and make sure you understand the wind, the air pressure, and the runway structures and all these little details, the amount of fuel you're going to have, and you got to do all these calculations, the pressure, altitude, density, altitude, airspeed, true airspeed, calibrated airspeed, course, true course, magnetic course, like all these crazy things you got to calculate. But I love it. It's so much fun. It's really powerful to know that I can go to an airport and get in an airplane and just leave. I ain't got to get in line. I ain't got to go through TSA. It is the most fun thing in the world. So if you ever want to have a fun challenge, just do something different. You know, every year I try to do something I've never done before, and this is the thing for this year, and I'm going to keep on doing it because I love it so much. So anyway, let me know if you can hear me. You guys can hear me? Okay, great. All right, so let's get started here. I want to talk a little bit about something that's really got me excited. These college athletes now are getting these things called name, image, and likeness deals. And let me just tell you this, the money is amazing. These athletes are getting millions of dollars. I love every bit of it because they've always deserved to get paid. If you do the work, you deserve to get paid. They're taking hits upside the head. They're out here doing 2-a-day practices, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I noticed this when I was in college. When I was in college at the University of Kentucky, I had a lot of friends who were athletes. And I remember my biggest dream coming out of high school actually was to get an athletic scholarship. That was the biggest thing I wanted to do because I was a track athlete and I wanted to be fast enough to run track. And when I got in college, though, I remember thanking God that I did not have the talent to run college track. I was so happy that I was fast, but I wasn't as fast as those guys. Those guys were amazing. I remember being happy about that because I said, man, with all the time y'all have to spend practicing, how in the hell are you going to get how do y'all even study? Because I felt like when I turned 18, I was going into the game of life. And that's a bigger game, in case you don't know. That's a bigger game. Football, basketball, those are kids' games. Most of us stop playing those kids' games when we're not kids anymore. But then you got the big game of life, which every day is like being in the NFL. If you're a Black man in America, especially, every day is a competition. Every day is a fight. Every day is a dog fight. You got to get in there, be a dog. You got to go in there, fight to win, go. Never, ever give up. In case you don't know, now you know. I like the game of life. And I found that academics was great preparation for the game of life. Business and money is great preparation for the game of life. Motivation is great preparation for the game of life. My mental toughness is important for the game of life. So I was transitioning to the game of life. They were still doing these sports. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. But I don't understand why the coaches were making millions of dollars and the athletes were getting nothing. I mean, these deals were just ridiculous. They would force the athletes to live like professionals, force them to work as hard as professionals, force them to have the responsibility of professionals. But then when it came time to pay them, they would say, oh, no, they're amateurs. They're amateurs. But then you'd hear about some coach signing, a $10 million deal, $20 million deal. The numbers would get ridiculous. And a lot of these, and what offended me the most was that a lot of these guys were Black. And a lot of these guys came from the hood. They had parents at home starving to death. And their coaches driving Lamborghinis, living in a big mansion with his little kids, flying private jets to the games. And the coach, the star player's mother can't even make it to the game because she said, I can't even afford a Greyhound bus ticket to get to the game, and I can't take off work. I thought that was a bunch of BS, and I've written about this actually since the 1990s. I have since the 90s. I've been right there fighting my butt off for these guys because I saw it. I tutored the athletes. I remember when I used to write articles about it. To tell you how deep it got, when I used to write articles about this topic at the University of Kentucky, which makes millions of dollars off its basketball program, the coaches literally told the players, you cannot read this guy's articles. Nazi Muhammad, who went to the NBA, he told me that. I was shocked. I said, they're blocking you from information. They're blocking you from hearing from another black man who just wants you to have what you deserve. Like that is not, nobody who loves you or cares about you is ever going to block you from having information. Information is going to better your life. Sorry. Nobody who cares about you is going to want you to stay in the darkness of ignorance. Give me a yes if you agree. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. Nobody who ever has your best interest at heart is going to say, no, don't you go reading. Don't you go reading books now, son. You don't let me do the reading for you, right? They used to do that with the Bible. They'd be master. What does the Bible say in that chapter? I wants to read it. And they'd be like, no, boy, let me read it for you. I'll read it and I'll interpret it for you, right? Don't do that. You read the damn thing yourself. So I remember Nazi told me that. There was another player named Derek Anderson who went to the University of Kentucky who played for the San Antonio Spurs. And he came to visit me, right? One of his black assistant coaches brought him to come see me. At that time, I was teaching mathematics at the University of Kentucky. I was maybe 26 years old. And the coach brought Derek to my office because he said, I want him to see Boyce Watkins. I want him to hear from him, right? So this stuff that I do publicly, I've been doing this. I was doing this in my 20s, except I was doing it on the college campus. And I remember, I kid you not, to bring Derek to see me, they had to sneak him in like he was a damn runaway slave. I kid you not. They literally, the coach was like, well, don't tell nobody I bought him. I'm like, okay, we won't tell boss. We won't tell master that he was sneaking away and talking to the intelligent Negroes. So my point is to say that for so long, they always wanted to separate intelligent black men from athletic black men. They wanted to separate the entertainer from the scholar. They want to separate the athlete from the thinker. They want to separate the rapper from the black man who's actually going to talk about liberation because they knew, give me a yes if you understand. They knew that if we got together and they heard my ideas and I heard their ideas, it would be explosive. When you have powerful black men getting together from different walks of life, it is absolutely the most explosive thing on this planet. And I saw that. You saw that, for example. So the same thing with Derek, and I was talking to him about the racism at the University of Kentucky basketball program. It's similar to when I sat down and talked to Ice Cube about the politics of America. When Charlemagne the God hit me up before his interview with Joe Biden, I was telling him, I said, okay, I think if you ask him about this and this and this, Biden would never talk to somebody like me. I'm too smart. They're scared of people like me, but you're an entertainer. They think you're stupid. Let me go ahead and give you some thoughts that you can take with you that will help you in that interview. And he blew Biden's brain up. Biden didn't know what to do. If you remember, he flipped out in that interview. The same thing, I keep going down the list. There's other scenarios that I can talk about. But the point is to say that these athletes getting their money makes me so happy. And I'm super, super happy for these guys. You have no idea. All through the 2020, the 00s, I would go on CNN and we debate whether athletes should be paid. And the NCAA would always say, well, of course they shouldn't get paid. And that's it. That they wouldn't debate it. They'd say, well, Dr. Watkins, we invited the NCAA to come on CNN and debate with you, but they declined. I'm like, of course they declined because y'all some lying punks right now. You know it ain't right to steal somebody's name, image, and likeness. You know it ain't right to have somebody working for nothing like that when they're making millions of dollars for you. You know it ain't right for you to have their families in the projects while your family's sitting out in the suburbs and living good. You know that ain't right. None of that's right. These guys are taking hits to the head. They're getting brain damage, some of them. They're putting their bodies on the line every day. They're getting up every morning, working their butts off, and you expect to be paid. If they did the same thing to you or to your children, you'd be pissed. And it's not just a financial issue. It's not just a labor rights issue. It's not just an educational issue. It is a racial issue. It is a racial issue. It is racism 101. You are taking billions of dollars of economic wealth out of the black community when you take our athletes who are a $1 trillion asset and you're having them work for free because you systematically block them from getting the rights to the money they deserve. So right now in college football, I'm gonna go through this quick because I got to get out of here for my flight. But right now, you got players like Shedeur Sanders making millions of dollars. Even some of the white players, Archie, who's the son of Archie Manning, or nephew or something like that. He's getting millions of dollars. You got Bryson, whatever his name is, that played for Alabama last year. He was making millions of dollars. Bo Nix making millions of dollars. You got all the Travis Hunter making millions of dollars. These guys are buying houses, they're buying cars, they're doing all kinds of stuff. I love it. I think it's awesome. And if you don't like it, then understand when primetime takes his players out there and they set viewership records on Fox Sports because 8.7 million people watched that game that they had against Nebraska. That's millions of dollars being exchanged. That's millions of dollars is being paid. Well, who deserves the money more than the guys who are actually on the field risking their lives to make the game happen? Travis Hunter took a hit that damn near collapsed his lung if you saw that game. Right. So why in the hell would you think that these guys should be the last ones to get paid? I think they should be the first ones to get paid. Don't nobody really watch a game to see the coach, except maybe Coach Prime. He's an exception. He was literally ranked recently as the most famous college coach in football history or something, which I think is pretty hilarious and amazing. Right. I mean, this tells you he's at least a $300, $400, $500 million asset for the University of Colorado, maybe even $1 billion asset. The way Coach Prime is going right now, if he's able to continue to win at a high level, he'll be a billionaire by the time he's done, or his children certainly will. And I think it's awesome. I'm happy for them. I think it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, guys, that was my point. I wanted to make this point really quick. And I was so interested in making this point that I took the time right before my flight lesson. And I'm in trouble now because I'm going to be late. But if you could, please hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up, share. Make sure you subscribe. Also, just a reminder, if you're into this kind of pro-Black thing and you're Black and intelligent and you want to be around other intelligent Black people, the All Black National Convention happens October 20th in Atlanta. You can join us by going to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. Also, I send out profit alerts. You guys know my background's in finance. I've been talking about finance and economics for a long time. I've taught at many universities on this topic. And so what I do is I send out financial stock picks and a few other things that I like, a training on how to make money without working, things like that. So if you'd like to get this stuff for free, courtesy of the Black Business School, just text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. And don't forget, this podcast is on Spotify. It's also on Apple. So if you look up my name on Spotify and Apple, you can find it there. And thanks to those of you who joined us last night when we did the training on how to make money without working. If you'd like to take a look at the program that we talked about, just go to drboyceprime.com. It's right there. It stands for Passive Recurring Income Machine. You can take a look and see what we got going on over there. All right, guys, hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And I see, let's see, K Finesse says, I read the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Good. Yeah, that's my new book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You can get a copy at boycewatkins.com and lots of free stuff on my website, boycewatkins.com. So feel free to take a look at that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll check in with you guys a little bit later. Be good. Peace.